All right, Kimbrey, glad we can meet today. Tell me about your story. Tell me about the writing you've done this week.
So this is kind of like most of my first chapter, well, my first, yeah. And then I started on my second thing, and in this first one, I wrote about the family and how they got on the hike and how they got lost. And then I started writing about the wild animals that they ran into.
Okay, wonderful. Do you mind if I quickly skim through this? Okay, you gave a reason for the hike. I love that. There was a big prize for anyone that went on the whole hike. I like this because you're giving us something to think about as a reader. When they, let's see, there was a trail for them that was made for the hike for them to follow. They were following the path when they came to a split in the road, so that creates a intrigue for the reader. Okay, nice. I like how they lost their map. I really like the dialogue that you have going on because you've got several members of the family. Right here you had Summer, you had Dad who was kind of holding the map, and then Mom, Lily. Summer up here asked a question. And then you've got Mom here again. I really like that. What will we do then? Okay, you've done a lot of work on this. So what are you thinking from here? Where do you want to go?
I'm probably gonna add a few more wild animals. I want to add the scorpion that bites Lily, and then after that I'm gonna probably start on how they run out of food because they have food for the hike already,
right?
And that's for the amount of days that they have to do the hike. And so they run out of food eventually because they're lost for a long time.
Yeah.
So they find the travelers.
Very good. So you mentioned a couple things. You want to have a little bit more threat to Lily because she's the youngest, right? And then you said they've got food for the hike for the days that they were going on the hike. Now you haven't indicated, and this is maybe where we can introduce, you've done great work here describing and setting up the whole situation of what they're doing, why they're doing it, some good dialogue about what's going on the way. They take the left fork in the road. Now, we don't know time frame, and so maybe something to just think about as you move forward. You need to give us an indication of time frame. How long have they been on this portion? And then, so you just said they've got enough food for a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to write about those details?
Yeah,
and then
write about that, and then
okay,
I'm gonna write how they're oh no, we're all out of food and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, and so I think that would be a good direction to go. Is just write something that's going to give us an indication of where are we at right now as far as time frame. Is it starting to get dark? A lot of writers will use elements of time, like it was starting to get dark, and so they set up camp. It sounds like they were ready to be on the hike for a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
So
they
they've
already had like
they've got stuff to
stuff
set up
to
camp.
sleep and stuff.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but phrases like in the morning they had to decide. See, that gives us a frame of time, right? In the morning. Another good idea would be after a couple of days. So you don't have to write about all the days. You could say after a couple of days they noticed something.
Like all on the food.
Yeah. Does that spark any ideas for you? What do you think? Do you have any ideas come to mind?
Well, I could say that like after they continue on the trail for a little bit, like Lily would get bitten, and then it'd be like getting dark and stuff, and then so they set up like a little camp area, and then they in the morning they decide to go forward on the trail, and then they keep going, and then eventually they run out of food.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I think that's great. This is awesome. I love your ideas. One thing we want to avoid is creating a story that is and then, you know. And so as you try and plug in just little hints about the time, just make sure you're not creating and then. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But I think you will do really well with that because you've used a lot of really good transitional things already. And giving a time frame is in a way transitioning. So I think you'll do really, really well. Do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Keep up the hard work. This looks great. All right. Thank you.